and welcome back to another video. So many of you have contacted me about the risks of sharing your poems on Instagram and it being stolen, also known as plagiarism, that I figured I would make a whole video regarding the subject so that you can begin your Instapoetry journey with ease of mind. Also, if you haven't already, I highly recommend after watching this video you watch my Instapoetry do's and don'ts. I'm seeing a lot of you committing some cardinal sins and you really want to avoid the don'ts that I talk about in that video. Other than that, let's get started. Don't get me wrong, having your work stolen is a real horrible thing to go through. A real kick in the nuts. I've been doing Instapoetry for years now and I've never experienced full-on plagiarism, though I have experienced a strain of it. So when we spend hours writing down our deepest, innermost feels and then finally build up the courage to share it, the last thing we want is to see it on somebody else's account. But does it actually happen? Are you at more risk than not? Are you safer just keeping your work to yourself? Let me explain. Okay, I'm just going to be plain and to the point to begin with here. Just share your work. Just do it. Not to be compared with Shia LaBeouf there, or Shia LaBeouf. How do you say his name? Yes, plagiarism has been known to happen on Instagram. But if it does happen to you, you do not need to worry. Easier said than done, I know, but do not worry. All social media platforms now provide a timestamp of when your post went live. So if someone was to steal your work, they'd have to have seen your post first. Meaning your post's timestamp is always going to be older than theirs. Which means you have undeniable proof that the original text is yours. So you can either report the plagiarist or have some fun with them in the comment section below their post and just show them up. But what if you don't know you've been plagiarized, you ask? Unfortunately, my friends and fellow poets, that is just a risk we all have to take. What goes around really does come back around, and one day they'll plagiarize one too many people and get caught out. In the meantime, what you have to keep reminding yourself is not what you could lose, but everything you could gain by sharing your work. What you must also remember is that there are plenty more respectful people on Instagram than disrespecting people or disrespectful people, at least in my opinion. Many people are more than happy to help indie artists raise their brand by posting credited reposts. Which reminds me, always put your name or signature in the actual image that you're posting of your poem. Another thing you have to consider, which is a close strain to plagiarism and can feel like a kick in the nads just as much, but is something that happens to all creatives no matter who you are, is when one of your poems do well, expect other poets to be posting something extremely similar to that piece. All artists borrow inspiration from each other, and you will do it too. It's been done to me a number of times, and by much bigger accounts, no less. You just have to remind yourself that not only was your work good enough to gain attention from readers, but also that other artists would want to try and replicate your work. In summary, there are risks in everything you do in life. Just walking to the shops poses a risk. What you need to remind yourself is there are far more things to gain from sharing your work than to lose. At the end of the day, if someone does plagiarize your work, they will get caught out eventually. And you will always have the timestamp to prove that the original piece was yours or is yours. Take pride in what you do and the gift that you've been given and share it. I know this may have been a shorter video than normal, but I really hope that this has given you the confidence to go ahead and just be you and share your work and not worry about things, because you don't need to. Please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications, and as always, if you found the video informative or enjoyable, please share some love and hit the like button. My name's Adam Gary, and I'll see you next week.